You know what the problem is? I tell those politicians to shove that vaccine passport up their asses, but I think they'd enjoy it. I think they'd actually enjoy it. I just have a feeling they've been shoving stuff up there for a long time. Mostly our freedoms and our rights and all that, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Laws, ethics, you know. That's what I'm saying, it's all gone to shit.
Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Glam Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about heavy weight when it comes down to using weights in the 6 rep range. So this is an answer for somebody in the comments. They asked me if they just do sets in the 6th rep range, will that be good for hypertrophy? Now, I always talk about mixing up the rep ranges. I always talk about certain rep ranges may work better for some people more than others. But if one was just going to pick one rep range to get hypertrophy gains, to get muscle mass gains, and they were saying, hey, I'm either going to do sets of 25 reps or 30 reps or sets of 6 reps, I would have to say for natural bodybuilders, the sets of 6 reps would most likely make the most results because it's going to push that strength for a person, and therefore when they gain in strength, they're going to gain in muscle mass to a certain point. Muscle mass does have a link to strength. It's not exclusive to strength, but it definitely has a closer relationship to that than it does to endurance. And I find a lot of times people watch these unnatural dudes that are all pumped up full of juice or whatever, or on steroids, whatever they're doing. And these guys are just repping out and they're putting on muscle mass, but they're training in a different set of parameters than a natural bodybuilder. And I will say for natural bodybuilders, using heavy weight from time to time is necessary. Now, should you do it in the right range of motion? Should you do it safely? Yes, that's of course part of it. And at the same time, you don't need to do it all the time. If you're doing heavy weights too much or too often, you are going to be risking injury, and at the same time just being counterproductive. It's just going to be breaking down certain tissues more often than you need to in order to gain muscle mass, right? So why I advocate having high rep days or higher rep days is because you are hitting different muscle fibers, along with the fact that you're pumping blood into the area and causing a different response in the muscle that works synergistically with using the heavy weight. So that's why I always advocate heavy weights along with some medium weights from time to time. But if you are only going to use one type of weight and say which weight is the best for putting on muscle mass, I'd say weights that do help you gain in strength. Like sets that help you gain in strength are going to help you more with muscle mass than sets that just exclusively help you with muscular endurance, right? So one thing that people don't understand is that there's a difference between being in shape and being in bodybuilding shape, right? Bodybuilding shape is all about growing the muscles and getting them bigger, stronger, you know, being able to contract harder. It's not necessarily about being in just shape, right? Because if I do like whole body workouts and lots of endurance stuff, lots of supersets, running stairs, running hills, I'm not necessarily going to become bigger and stronger, but I will become leaner and in good cardiovascular shape, right? I may be in good endurance shape, but I'm not necessarily in bodybuilding strength, anaerobic strength shape, right? Being a total anaerobic powerhouse. That's a different thing, right? If you want to become a mountain, it's more about anaerobic strength. Now, of course, a lot of people tune into this channel, they're like, oh yeah, it's better to be in shape and it's better for longevity to be in cardio shape, all that kind of thing. You know, these are all different discussions depending on what your philosophy is and what you want to do with your life. You know, I get it. There's different ways to achieve conditioning. But if you want to put on muscle mass, if that's your first priority, running hills is not the best way to do it. You know, like just, you know, running marathons or doing a lot of endurance work or really, really high rep work. For most people, that's not the best way to do it. Like doing sets of 50 or 60 reps. I just had somebody ask me about using 3-pound dumbbells. Is that a great way to put on strength? And I'd say no, it's not a great way to put on strength or muscle mass. So you do have to push the strength envelope to a point in order to put on muscle. It's always been like this. I always wished, you know, back in the day especially, I always wished that I could just use lighter weights and just do pumping sets and never push heavier weight or never challenge my body because it was easier for me. It hurt like hell. I mean, I get a good muscular burn, but I always found that I hit a plateau that I could not put on muscle mass unless I pushed the envelope from time to time when it comes down to strength. So I had to do those heavier sets from time to time, like the 6-rep sets or the 10-rep sets or the 8-rep sets. I had to do that from time to time, and then, and only then, did the high-rep sets really start to produce results for me. But I couldn't just exclusively do high reps. So yeah, I hope this helps you in your training. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you need to go home, just go to naturallandbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain. Do you see that power line right there? Do you see that like tower? That's like the size of the dildo that our Prime Minister of Canada sits on every night. That's what he likes to do at home in his spare time. Total random off topic, not even related to this video, but that's what most politicians use actually at home. It's like a self-seating system. I think it helps them understand how to give the shaft to citizens if they take the shaft themselves. I think some sort of circle of life type of pay it forward type thing. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
But I can't.